We're live now, so just FYI. Yeah,
That was a really good one.
nothing's going to beat that. All right, let me make sure that we can hear each other. Make sure that we can hear each other. Say something, Colton.
Say something, Colton.
Say something, Colton. Okay.
Say something, Colton.
All right. Colton is saying something.
Woo!
Let me just blast all these links out. Copy. That's that. Create post. Home. There. Jen, what is up?
Hey, Jen.
Can I share this as? You too, Jen. Hope you had a good week as well. How do I?
So close to being over.
You guys in your Monday through Fridays.
I'm still like, even though I've been doing it now for over a year, I still feel weird because I did Tuesday through Saturday for so long that, yeah, it still is kind of strange to me.
How do I move to trash? I'm trying out my public Facebook. I want to see how that goes. Look at that. Jen's not working tonight. She has us. I actually have to shout Jen out as something on something. She settled a debate for us last week, and there was so much happening that I never even got a chance to bring it up.
What did she settle?
Share to newsfeed. Let's see how I got this there.
We're just going to get bombarded with your friends. They're just going to bust in.
All right. That is posted through my thing. She settled our season 6 versus season 8 debate that we were having.
What did she agree on?
Well, listen to the episode and you'll find out.
Damn it. No, I can't listen to it because she typed it in. I got to go through and I got to read all the stuff.
Oh no, I was gonna bring it up on air, but she said season 8 was better. So me and you said season 6. They said season 8. So Jen basically means nothing to us now. No, Jen, we love you. That is just a joke. Just remember, Colton's the one that hates Harry Potter.
I don't fucking hate Harry Potter, damn.
I have a Harry Potter.
I don't hate it.
I have a Harry Potter tattoo. I just can't show you guys.
Whatever.
Actually, Jen brings up a good point. It's only because of Jennifer Carpenter's acting. Yeah, actually, I have a little note on that. Okay, if you're ready, I'm ready.
Yep.
Okay. Let me, which one am I clicking here?
Shut up, cunt.
Wrong one, sorry. Okay, now we're recording. Okay. All right, ready?
Yep.
This is Victor, and now that Colton has his stitches from playing on the treadmill, despite me telling him not to, I am joined by Colton. Colton, Good evening.
How could you even see if I have them though? I've got all this beard in the way. I would never. If I fell on my chin, it's just an automatic padding. It's just gonna go like a little pillow, and I'm just gonna be like, oh, that's comfortable, and I'm just gonna kind of.
Well, to be fair, it wasn't you. It was your stunt double.
It was my 58-year-old stunt double.
We are here to discuss episode 810, Goodbye Miami. Couple things. Colton, I don't know if you feel this way. After the past 2 weeks of having guests, this episode feels like you ever have people over and like almost like all day, or like let's say like a holiday, and after everyone finally leaves, you're like, whew, that was a good time, but I'm glad everyone's gone now. Much respect to our guest, Slipmaker. Much respect to Aaron and Dale of the Deeply Discussing Dexter podcast, and it has nothing to do with them, but as a podcaster and someone who's trying to like juggle multiple plates, it's a lot.
Yeah.
And it was good we had them on. It's nothing against them. It's a lot. And this episode just sort of feels like, all right, now me and Colton can just go in bed and watch some TV and call it a night and discuss Goodbye Miami. Do you feel like that or not really?
No, I do.
Yeah.
I do. Like, so 2 things on that one. One, when I did that with my podcast, I remember one time I did 3 episodes in 1 week. I told you about this because you were a guest on one of them. I had the guy from Lazarus is his name. Shout out. He has his own podcast now as well. Lazarus in England. He was on. And then I had another person. I cannot remember who my other guest host was on that one, but it was 3 in 1 week because my co-host at the time, Chris Como, he couldn't be on. And when me and him got to record again, I was like, oh, this is it. This is what I like.
Yeah.
It was like, we're just going to chill. This is going to be nice.
And because of everything, that's pretty much going to be our only guest, because I don't think I could do that when we start New Blood, because we're going to be cramped already as it is. And
we're doing a lot.
All those logistics of just like getting everything, like, you know, I'm someone who pride themselves on having good audio, and there was so much going on last week that all of our audios kind of got messed up. So may last episode 8 or 9 make your own kind of music, and it's no one else, it's nobody, it's in the end it's my fault for not like checking on it, but it's nobody's fault. So it was just a lot overall. So again, thank you to them. Actually, a little guest news. Slipmaker's video got taken down on YouTube.
What? I didn't know that.
Yeah, for some copywriting stuff. I don't know the full thing.
Like,
I know
audio run like 1 second too long or something.
Something. I don't know the specifics of it. I know Slip knows a lot more about it than I do. But I saw he was sort of going through an appeal process. So, I think he's going to try and upload it some other way or fight it. But you know, it sucks if you're listening to this podcast at a later date. Well, those episodes, and you didn't get a chance to listen to it, watch his video. But that's just something I know he's dealing with.
That sucks.
Oh, Slip just said in the chat it should be up tonight. I'm surprised we get away with as much as we get away with, but we're not as popular or as good as Slip, and I don't know if we deal with as much infringement. You know, we just have slides. I don't even know what I'm trying to say, just in terms of like, I don't think we share as much, but thank you to Slip. What's up, Slip? And thank you. What happened?
Yeah, so I was like, unless we were on what's the other thing? The other streaming thing?
Twitch.
Twitch, we'd have been banned.
Yeah,
2 seconds in.
Yeah. Again, I feel like one of the funniest internet's interactions was Metallica being DMCA'd on their own stream while they were playing for a concert for Twitch. That's just so where we are in 2021. Roxanne is joining us. Hello, Roxanne. Long time no see.
Hey, Roxanne.
Uh-oh. Okay. See, this is what I mean. This is why we can't have more than... It should only be Jen in the chat, because I can't handle too many people. That night we had Slip on, I was like, you know, this is not a good audio medium, but it was just like, oh my God, and those guys were so funny. Okay, couple cleaning house items we had to do. Last episode we were debating, and I think it's a good general debate in general. What season is worse / better, season 6 or season 8? If we could agree that those are the two bottom seasons. I know a lot of people, and I'm always surprised that people hate season 5 for as much as they do. Season 6 versus season 8 seems to be the which one is worse. So,
Yeah.
Team Digging Dexter selected season 6 as the worst. We selected season 8 as the worst season.
Season 8 is the worst.
So let's just say, let's do better because that's easier. We selected season 6 is the better season than season 8.
I
Team
just don't want to put better with season 6.
Team Deeply Discussing Dexter selected season 8 as better than season 6. In the chat, Jen selected. I wish I had a drum roll. All I have is a spinning wheel. This is breaking the tie, and this is official, meaning whatever she selected is what is the better season. So let's see what she selected. She said Harry Potter. Weird. No. She said season 8 was better, and then she further clarified that because of Jennifer Carpenter's acting. One more thing, and I want to get back into that for a second. Tomorrow, if you're listening to this on Monday when the podcast drops, Scott Reynolds is doing his Dexter wrap-up podcast. He started it for season 7, season 8. And much like Dale was saying, the behind the scenes on Dexter, there's nothing. You cannot find anything. There's commentaries from season 1 for like 2 episodes, and then that's it. And you think about, like, if you're ever bored at work and you're YouTubing stuff, one of the best things to do, I like to do, is type whatever show I like and then bloopers or behind the scenes. You know, you ever see like it's just coming to my mind because it's the first thing that pops up. You know, so many movies are CGI'd, and you get to see like what the actually sound stage that it is that they're filming on, and it looks like nothing. The one that comes to my mind is Avengers Endgame, when they do the big scene at the end, and you see it's like this little room, and they had like different actors at a time.
Yeah.
And I just love seeing that. The Office bloopers are always funny. Breaking Bad bloopers are really funny. And you see how much fun these people have on the sets, because, like, you know, you always talk about, like you know, the actors, anytime behind the scenes, they always talk about how much fun it is shooting, because some of these lines they say, when they yell cut, they all have to start laughing, and especially when they start messing up lines, you know?
Right.
And there's nothing of that from Dexter. There's absolutely, like, nothing. The closest they have to that is Scott Reynolds, one of the writers on this new season, and he's been a writer for Dexter for quite a while. He does a wrap-up podcast. So every episode this season, season 8, he did a sit down with either an actor or a writer or director from the episode, and then he does like a longer interview with a special guest, one of the actors.
Okay.
That is starting tomorrow. It's dropping for Dexter New Blood. I don't know exactly what he's going to do, because usually he reviews the episode with someone involved, but I'm assuming it's going to be like Michael C. Hall talking about, I don't know how much new stuff we're going to get, but that's just, if you're obviously listening to this as a Dexter medium for a podcast, that's definitely something you want to start checking out. And like Jen said, I think Showtime is starting, the Showtime Twitter started tweeting out that they're doing a Twitter live, and they're watching, you ever see this on Twitter? They do like a watch party, and they'll tweet out stuff, and so they're starting that tomorrow. So just, you know, we're getting closer and closer. You know, starting tomorrow, we're start the countdown from like a month away, because tomorrow will be October 1st. Yeah. Back to what I was talking about regarding season 6 versus season 8. Jennifer had mentioned that Jennifer Carpenter's acting is what holds season 8 above season 6. Would you agree that the Dexter as a whole strong point is Michael C. Hall's acting?
Up until this season, yeah.
Do you think this season it's changed his acting?
I feel like he was just phoning it in almost this whole season. Like, literally almost every episode that I can think of, I'm just like, does he even really want to be here? Like, I kind of get that feeling. Jennifer, amazing. Like, don't get me wrong, Jennifer, amazing. But him, yeah. But that's only this season. I kind of feel that way.
So I never really thought that. And I always thought the show, the only reason why it doesn't go down as the biggest, worst show ever is solely because of Michael C. Hall's acting.
Hmm.
I never thought that about this season. When I started reading around to see what was the thoughts around this time when this aired 8 years ago, a lot of people started saying even Michael C. Hall starts phoning it in. And, I don't know what other analogy I could come up with, but if you're dating someone and once you start to think like, hey, I'm not sure this is going to work, like that's it. Like it's in your head and you can't like get it out of your head.
Right.
That's how I feel with Michael C. Hall's acting now. Like, I think he's phoning it in, but not because he's a bad actor.
No.
It's because like the material, like we're getting into some crazy wild shit of this episode and this season.
I think it's that. I think it's the material he's being given, and I think that this sounds bad, and I would like to think he's more of a professional than this, but it makes me wonder if it's also he knows how it's going to end, right? Like he knows they're starting episode 1 filming. He knows how it's going to end, and he's just sitting there like, the fuck are we doing? And so then the entire time he's like, I don't even want to do this. I've already signed a contract. I have to, but I don't really want to even do this. And so he's just doing the bare minimum to meet it. Hopefully that's how I would be, but I'm not a professional. So hopefully he's more of a professional than me, but that's just the feeling I get when I watch this season.
I know from listening to that Scott Reynolds podcast, Michael C. Hall knew the ending. They told him on the day they were filming the season 7 finale. They said they told him how it was all going to end. Or it may have been the season 7 premiere, one of them. No, season 7 finale, because they said like they went right into season 8, and that's why back in 2013 there's only a 6-month gap between season 7 and season 8. So with that being said, we can get into this episode. Again, it's episode 810, Goodbye Miami. Me and you were having somewhat of an interesting conversation in that I did not think this episode was as bad as the previous 2. Now, when I say that, it's almost you take the notion of like, wow, so I'm not saying you said this. I'm just saying it sounds like I'm starting to say, oh, this episode was good.
Okay.
I just simply, do you think this episode is worse than the previous 2?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. So you think, so then if I flip it on you and do exactly what I just said I didn't want to say to myself, this episode, you would rank, which is the better? Can you rank the previous 3 episodes if you could remember? We have Are We There Yet?, which is the road trip to the Keys and Hannah. And then last week, Making Your Own Kind of Music, where you have the software of de-aging aging up a baby Saxon, and then obviously this episode. I think this episode is boring.
You know what?
Go ahead.
If we're gonna put it that way on those 3, you saying that road trip, I'm actually putting as number 1. I've already said it. My reasoning why is because of Zach. No matter what anybody says, I like Zach as a character. I think they misused it. That's just how it is. What it is. I'm going with that one. I actually am gonna put this next. And then I'm gonna put Make Your Own Music.
Okay.
Now that I'm really thinking about it, this is in the middle, I think.
I think what this episode has that the other 2 don't have, and there's some really silly, crazy plot contrivances in this episode. This episode is, I think what's this is so funny to say. It's a detriment to the episode, but it's to me, it's what kind of saves it. This episode is boring, and it's like just like a drama.
Yes.
Like just nothing kind of happens, and it's
a filler. This is literally a filler episode. That's all this is. You've mentioned this before. There is 5 minutes in this episode that matter, and that's the last 5 minutes, and that's it. Like other than that, no part of this really honestly matters. I mean, I'll get into my complaints about it in a little bit, but yeah.
Something like I've always said, and I know Showtime listens to the podcast because they took my advice. 10 episodes Dexter should have always been. Could have helped so much of everything. And even you kind of see like the format of some of these shows, half-hour episodes. Some of them may creep into like the 35-minute mark, but that's a whole overarching discussion. I did separate the storylines in terms of Deb and then everything else.
Okay.
If I go that route, you're okay?
That's pretty much what I have.
So on the Deb storyline, Um, Dexter, man, there's so much to talk about, and there's also nothing to talk about. Dexter comes to Deb's house and sort of tells her that he's moving to Argentina.
Uh-huh.
This rewatch,
Logical.
this rewatch really started to make me. I'm at a different point in my life, and again, I say this every episode. Forgive me. When you start and really analyzing it for stuff to talk about, you kind of look at things a little bit differently.
Way differently.
My proverbial, it didn't actually, because the show doesn't evoke that kind of emotion from me, but my heart broke for Deb as a character. For everything they went through this season. And after all of that, the person who tried to kill Deb, again, we're a few episodes away from Dexter would have done anything to get Deb in his life.
Mm-hmm.
A few episodes later, he's like, hey, I know I'm your only family. Peace. It's just like, poor Deb. And I feel like out of all the plot stuff that the season 8 has going on, that could have added more turmoil to their relationship. You know what I mean? Like it's so. Let me ask you: you didn't feel that, or did you? I felt so bad for the Deb character of just being shit on by Dexter, which she always has. But after yes, it's different. We're a little bit more in the open now. I know you're a serial killer. I killed for you. Everything, the Deb saga. It broke my heart. It was like, this is really shitty of Dexter.
Yeah. No, so just like what you were saying, not even 3 days ago in Dexter world, Deb was smoking crack and in a hotel room, or sorry, snorting coke and in a hotel room, and Dexter's doing whatever he can to get her back. Now a girl who tried to kill Deb last season, poisoned her again this season, is at their house. Now, mind you, I can't remember if it's this episode or if it's next episode. I think it is this one. I'm sorry. I'm actually getting them a little bit mixed up, but I'm 99% certain it's this episode. They're in the backyard at one point. Dexter, Hannah, and Harrison, and well, except for Harrison, they're having a beer and they're hanging out like the perfect little family. They've got like little tiki torches going on and stuff like that. Mind you, this is Deb's fucking house, but they're just in there having a grand old time. Deb feels not only out of place in her house, then she's also, Dexter's also going to Argentina. I don't have my dad. I don't have anybody in my life anymore. And you're just going to disappear. That's it. Like, I don't know. It's
when they were all sitting.
It's one of those things that Dexter gets away with it because she kind of accepts it and all that. But
when they were all sitting there as a family and Deb walks in, it just further broke my heart for the Deb character of just like, this is so shitty. Just having to. It's like watching. I mean, I know we could joke about the fact that Deb was in love with Dexter, but it's equivalent to. I mean, literally, God, your brother, who meant everything to you, and you had all this turmoil, is literally sitting there, everything like you said, sitting there being this happy little family, and Deb has to walk in on that in her house with the woman who tried to kill her. A thing in sports is kind of like, you do metrics of who's a better team and whatnot, and this applies more to football, but you get a bounce one way and an entire team season changes. Like, if a few bounces go a certain way, there's different Super Bowl winners all across time. Mm-hmm. If Deb driving that car in season 7 would have hit something else or like turned at a different, she could have been dead. And this is the woman in her house that her brother, who is begging her to be with her, is just with her. It's so shitty. And this is why I remember this is why I didn't like the Dexter character once the show ended. This is a shitty, selfish person. And he always has been, but not to this degree, No,
because, like, we can get into the argument on if Hannah really loves Dexter or not. We can get into that argument. I'm going to go with the show on that one. As you way back to following, I guess, y'all's first season with the Digging Dexter podcast, Follow the Code, right? there's nothing in my mind that lets me think that Hannah doesn't love him, so we'll go with it. But Deb is the one person that actually knows Dexter his whole life,
Right.
has been there for him through everything, death of father, through multiple life events, and fuck off like later. I don't. Love is blind, I guess, right? Even in serial killer world.
So we have this. We met him last episode, Clayton the Marshal, and is on to Deb regarding Hannah, and where this is supposed to be a threat to the Hannah escape storyline.
Why is he wearing a jacket in Miami, by the way?
Listen, the jacket Vogel.
Look at that. That's tweed. That's like
the jacket Vogel wears. And this is August,
yes!
And they said this is August because they said it's been like 6 months since LaGuerta's death. August down here is fucking brutal.
That's the worst month of the year. It's like 107.
That's the only reason why, if we were in 2013, I would have been like, yes, Vogel is the brain surgeon. No sane person is wearing that jacket in Miami.
Not even breaking a sweat. Look at that. I've been there. I was sweating so much whenever I was there. No, this guy's not. No sweat. No nothing. No.
Honestly,
bullshit.
Deb wearing long sleeves and pants is suspect enough. So let me ask you, this Clayton guy. I know it's a show I've been meaning to watch, The Shield, and apparently this actor comes from his fame is from The Shield. He's supposed to be a threat. And I don't like saying this because I'm sort of nudging someone's personal looks, something they can't help. I feel like this guy, I want to see if you agree, I feel like he just comes off too surfy / I don't want to say it, but doofy, to like, I never viewed him as a threat. I don't know if it's the dyed, the blonde hair that kind of looks like he has like tips going on. Am I alone on that? Do you don't feel any of that?
Okay, I will say I didn't get that. I do have a weird impression of him, and again, it actually is his looks, but I think I'm going with the opposite. So
okay,
he's just way too good looking. Like in my head, I'm just like, who is this guy? This guy's like, now this is a weird angle for him. It's not the best angle, but like when he first walks in, I'm like, is this like a model? Like it is kind of like a surfer look. I guess you could go with that, but I'm just like, this guy, he just doesn't look real. If that makes any sense. Like, it's like, there's no way this is a real human. Like if you were sitting next to this guy in a bar, I'd be looking around like hanging out like, oh, okay. Then I look over and be like, that guy's in movies. Like I would just look at him and be like you just see certain people where it's like you just know, and it's
right.
Like that guy is right there. That's just that's what I would think.
And then to your point, and then more so like I was saying, does that lead you to like you don't view him as a threat? The show is trying to right. There's only once you get outside of Miami Metro and you've done the FBI thing already. You have to somehow one up the stakes. We're at we got 3 episodes left, and the next step up is like I don't know what part of the justice court system or whatever the marshals are, but I mean that's the United States of America looking for you, right? At minimum.
Yeah, it's federal. Yeah, the federal marshals. Yeah.
This guy just doesn't strike fear in me. Like I never viewed him as a threat, despite Dexter's never really in danger.
My whole thing, I guess, they could have made him a little bit more of a threat, even with getting Mr. Surfer good looks. They could have made him more of a threat by just having him in it maybe a little bit more, because it's whenever he does show up, it's like with this scene with Deb. He shows up and he asks just like a couple questions, and he's just like, well, we're under the impression.
Maybe it's the voice. I think as you started saying, maybe it's some of the voice.
He's like, well, and I get maybe he's trying to play like this whole good cop like type of thing, but he's just like, yeah. And she's like, well, he'd be fucking stupid. He goes, oh, okay, I just had to check you out, and then he like walks away.
So
it's like,
I have a great clip, and it's really hard to keep doing this episode while we just keep shitting on season 8, and it's hard to like keep this. It's hard to keep this interesting and not just sound like 2 guys complaining. But There's a certain line of dialogue in the scene that Colton has as his background where Clayton comes to Deb's beach house and he suspects that Hannah's in Miami and that Dexter may be dating her. These are two clips about 15 to 20 seconds apart. Just listen to it and you could hear. I was thinking about this earlier. This whole entire season just feels like they wrote it and no one went back and checked it. And at no point did anyone be like, all right, hold on. This doesn't fit with this here, so we have to rework it. So I want to play this clip because it made me burst out laughing.
Are he and Arlene Schramm a couple?
I don't know. I don't keep up with his dating life.
Okay, it's just, I know. Well, I don't need to tell you what a dangerous person Hannah McKay is. You know more about her than I do.
If Dexter were dating Hannah McKay, I would fucking know about it.
Maybe he'd keep it from you. Who knows?
Do you hear it? Because do you hear it or no?
No, I guess I don't even...
Listen specifically. Deb in the first clip says, "I don't fucking pay attention to Dexter's dating life."
Yeah, I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying.
And then the scene, and only because I don't want to just sit here and listen to episodes. 15 seconds later, she's like, "I would fucking know if he was fucking dating Hannah fucking McKay." And it's like, well, wait, which one is it? And why not have the fucking Clayton guy be like, well, wait a second, I thought you don't.
You don't keep up with his dating life.
Right. It's such an obvious thing. Like, oh my God. That just feels like something that should have, hey, let's I wonder if he is dating Hannah. Like, that's a good point, Mr. Clayton. Like, anything just besides completely contradicting the two. God. Deb is mulling coming back to Miami Metro, and I think we spoke a lot about this last episode. It doesn't have any effect on the storyline. It doesn't. I don't know how Deb acts any different or her character is any different if she's in Miami Metro. In this episode, in a season that we've complained about plenty, the way this Deb and Elway storyline ends, kind of coming out of nowhere, this has the most realism to it. Mm-hmm. Like, I enjoy Elway this episode being like, nope, fuck you. Nope, no, we're not going to hug. Nope, we don't have to do anything. Oh, I want to get my stuff. Nope, it's already packed and it'll be mailed to you. Like, he's just out of it. And he's like pissed, and he should be because, you know, the amount of shit, you know, we're talking about he was kind of nursing her back to health when she was hungover to just completely getting screwed left and right. You know, what was the benefit for Elway? And, you know, I guess I enjoyed someone not ignoring big, obvious, huge facts. Like, bringing some, like, reality to what we're dealing with, you know?
Yeah. I mean, his whole... I really like his character. Like, Elway has been one of the best parts of this season to me. I mean, besides Jennifer's acting. But his character, it was a nice change. It was a different character add in. We've seen from the beginning that she's not good at her job. I mean, he says that she is, but since she's been working for him, what has she brought into him? Right. Like, she was sleeping with the one guy. He dies. Okay, well, that's not her fault. That's fine. But then they don't get anything else out of it. They don't find right. Or did they find? See, and that's how bad it is. I can't even remember if they even got the storage locker and all the stuff that they were looking for or not.
After El Sapa was found dead, the entire storyline is dropped. We never go back to anything.
So since she's worked for him this 5 days or however long this season's been so far, she hasn't provided him with anything. Like, what is she doing to actually earn a paycheck? You know, but he's writing her last check. He's going to cut it. But you like what you said, he's letting her come in. She's obviously still come in drunk a couple times. We're well aware of that. She's been using and stuff like that, and that's fine, but he's looking the other way. He's cutting her a lot of slack on it. And then not only that, but he's the one that's sat here and given her advice, and then, like what you said, just getting shit on for nothing because she wants to go back. I mean, I'm sorry. It's a private business. You went to go work for a private business. I went from working for the public sector to a private business. You have to understand that it's a capitalism. You got to make money. That's just what it is. Right. And she apparently doesn't do her job.
To Jen's point in the chat, Elway should have been the Clayton character. I understand he doesn't have the levity of being federal, doesn't have the federal threat behind him. But the fact that he's federal literally means nothing because, like Slip said earlier when we were talking about Dexter abandoning, Dexter goes ahead and abandons Hannah and Harrison by the season's end. But why not help Elway with a personal vendetta to find Hannah? Why drop this new Clayton character in who, you know, the idea that he's federal, it's supposed to have some more levity to it and doesn't add anything. I mean, what happened?
No.
What happens at the end of next episode? I don't know if you know exactly what I'm talking about, but the idea he has no idea who Oliver Saxon is and just lets him loose.
Is that next episode? Okay.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking. Yeah. Okay. So that's okay.
You're talking about a federal marshal doesn't know who everyone is on the manhunt for. Next episode. Yeah. Elway definitely should have stayed in this role. This Deb breakoff should have happened earlier, and Elway should have really, you know, he could have been breaking the rules because he's a PI. He's not a member of Miami Metro or whatnot.
Exactly.
Something I want to ask you that, you know, as this series winds down, something I realized that I've never cared about, and it happens in this episode, and I was kind of, again, like, I just really don't care about this. Deb and Quinn are sort of getting back together.
Yeah, I don't give a shit.
Yeah, and out of all of the love interest Deb has had, I feel like I've cared for all of them more than I care about Deb and Quinn. And this is one of those moments where I wish we were back in 2013, because if you would have asked me right there, like, hey, do you care about this? I would have been like, nope. It doesn't affect me in any way. Like, stuff is just happening, and I don't necessarily care for the motivation. I don't care that it's happening. I don't know how it's going to impact the story. I'm not sure I care if it impacts the story, and that's it.
Yeah. I that's all I got. I don't. It doesn't add anything to this to me. It's the same with him and Jamie breaking up. Like, okay.
Yeah, same thing.
No.
I never had any interest in that. I guess that wraps up the Deb storyline. Then we can move over to the quote unquote main part of the episode.
I'm just double checking on my note. Yeah, I don't have anything. Okay.
Because sometimes I'm just reading my notes and I try to make it sound like I'm doing it cohesively. Because he doesn't leave Miami, I don't like that this episode's called Goodbye Miami. I do remember when they listed the episode list, two things. Goodbye Miami is like, oh shit, like either Dexter's getting killed this episode or whatever. I was a very naive younger person then. And the last episode was titled The Gallows. Do you know what the gallows is?
Yeah, it's where they hang people.
Right. And then when you see Goodbye Miami and you see that, you think there's going to be some court procedure where, you know, and this episode always stuck in my, like, oh, Goodbye Miami. Wow. Sort of a bait and switch. I mean, I guess the entire show is, but I hate that this episode's called Goodbye Miami. Like,
no, I actually had that in my notes. I was like, why is it even called this?
And like I guess if you're trying to put some pieces to fit,
I guess Vogel leaves Miami.
That's what I was
gonna... It's about the only thing I got.
So yes. So
did you have that in your note? Did you have
no,
that too?
no. I was gonna say the closest I could get is that Vogel is no longer if Vogel is supposed to represent Miami, we're saying goodbye to Miami, but that still doesn't even.
No, she's from Europe.
Yeah,
she's not even Miami.
So, last episode I asked, what is the motive behind? Why is Oliver Saxon, aka the brain surgeon, killing? You know, if you remember earlier in the season, he killed Lyle Sussman to dump the brain parts on Vogel's desk, and why? I think the explanation we got is in this episode, although I still don't get it. But
I don't get it. I get the kill room now. The kill room makes sense.
Yes, that makes a lot more sense. But why is there a kill room? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So basically, what we come to learn about this is that he is wanting to get him back in contact with his mother. This is going to get confusing, so I'm going to call it Vogel and Saxon.
Okay.
Saxon wants to get in touch with Vogel so she can treat him the way she treated Dexter. Make him be a normal person with this dark passenger need to kill. Let me just bring this up and then we can get into it. Vogel gets called into Matthew's office, and this is another thing I wish we were in 2013. I've said this almost every episode, and I may ask you every time. Do you get at all like maybe they were cooking something up with Matthews being sort of the architect behind everything, or not really?
No, I wish I did. The only thing I have from that scene, and I wanted to make this, I actually had this a point in my notes, is how maybe I'm wrong on this, but just how lazy I feel like the writing is on this. Because last episode I brought up, this entire time, we've never gotten the impression that Vogel has kids until all of a sudden when Dexter finds out it's a match, right, with the DNA. And then all of a sudden this episode, Matthew's like, within 2 seconds of her walking into Matthew's office, he's like, Vogel, like when you had your sons that you know about. And it's like, wait, what?
Yeah.
You couldn't have brought something like that. Like they're just like throwing it up. Now it's all this, the hot topic to talk about is her kids. Not until now. But
I just feel like that there's something there. I think why I think that is because I think I remember reading after the season that Matthews in the end kills Dexter because he failed at the master plan of being like the perfect psychopath, and that's why Vogel was brought in, and that like Matthews knew Vogel and their involvement the whole time, and Dexter sort of failed the experiment, but obviously that didn't happen. What am I? Sorry, guys. Here, sort of something. Almost everything with the episode and the season presents like big plot, big ideas with just terrible execution. And I think something that we're getting, I think what we get very lazily done is the idea that like Dexter has rid himself of the dark passenger. And he's like sort of torn between needing to protect Vogel or leaving Miami to go to Argentina. And I feel like the show wants it to be a bigger moment, but there's just too much sloppiness going on. You know what I mean? Because when they're talking in their office in Miami Metro, I feel like it's supposed to be this momentous happening, but like, it doesn't. Go ahead.
I was going to say because I told you I was going to at least put in one good point that I have this entire episode, because I don't want to just shit on the entire episode. And them in Dexter's office is actually my good point. And it's only because at first I was going to shit all over it, but I really was. I was like, all of a sudden now she's like all like, oh, well, he's my son and he wouldn't hurt me and all that. But the more I watched it and the way that she's the actress that plays Vogel,
Charlotte Rampling,
I really like it. Like the more I really watched that scene, I was like, you know what? She's more or less at this point a victim already. So it's kind of like you're a victim in a abusive relationship where she's like, everybody's telling you get out of this relationship. You got to move and stuff like that. And then she's not wanting to hear it. Like, no, this is my son. Even though, and that ended up being my favorite part of this whole episode, because I guess it's like, I want to give it crap, but then I'm like, no, you know what? This is actually kind of realistic. Like, this is more like with what I would kind of like to see. Like, I can kind of see this happening in a way in this type of world, at least. So
I'll grant you that that's the good. Like, if you found or you felt something was good, like, that's awesome, because the best thing I have to say about this episode is that it's not as bad as the previous two. Part of watching this, and it's where I this next scene when they go to Saxon's lair, so to say, is where I really feel like this is why the brain surgeon as a villain is just completely empty. So the idea is he wants to be treated like Dexter. He's begging Vogel, his mother, please treat me, please let me exist like Dexter does. And Dale brought this up last episode. There's a lot of telling, not showing. Part of why this entire thing, and I want to see if you agree with me here. First of all, we just met Oliver, right? Now we met the real person. We met the real Saxon.
Mm-hmm.
He seemed to have a job, an apartment. He was able to date Cassie for a while. He made it to this age. Let's just say he's 35, right? Give or take. We call him like, a poor man's Ryan Gosling. I guess I don't see it, and I have no problem admitting it. I guess he's good looking. He's a handsome looking, he doesn't look disheveled or anything. He doesn't look like a serial killer. What is he missing? Like, he was killing all these people and no one knew it was him. He is Dexter. Like, the show frames him as the Dexter, Dexter in the mirror, so to say. So he's saying, treat me like you treat Dexter. The reason why it's falling so flat for me is because, like, well, is he suffering that bad? Do you know what I'm saying?
Well, that I don't know, because Dexter even says he's obviously, well,
I guess
man, I don't know.
Let me further put it. Instead of wasting time on Masuka's daughter, something we were talking about all week that I never got to put together, but instead of giving us this Quinn/Angie Miller, who's going to make the promotion, even this episode, the Quinn and Deb stuff, why not show us Saxon struggling, like, as a person? Really quick, just taking some of season 4. You saw the pain in Trinity of just not being able to be normal. He does the hot shower. He goes to bars and gets the shit kicked out of him. It's all part of his cycle, but, like, you see there's an internal struggle with Trinity.
Mm-hmm.
Saxon's sitting here saying, please let me be Dexter. By all accounts and measures, what the show is showing us, he is Dexter. He's normal. It sounds like he has a decent job. Yeah, I forget what it was, surveying blueprints or whatever. I just don't know. He's begging to be treated, and he just seems like he's completely fine. And it's why it's like, I don't even get what he's struggling for. Colton, you have a little girl. I imagine sometimes when she's, like, crying and you have, like, you don't know what it's about. It's kind of like, well, just tell me what you're crying about,
Yeah.
That's sort of like how I feel about this. It's just like, I don't even get what your struggle is supposed to be. I don't understand it. And this is why it's falling so flat to me.
Well, and I guess I don't understand it as well. The part I don't get is when Dexter's, and this is, I guess, I'm kind of piggybacking off of what you're bringing up, is he killed these, whatever, like 3 people, 4 people, whatever it was, in the mental asylum when he set the fire. We don't know about him. He has no existence other than he's apparently lived in half a dozen cities, or whatever Dexter says, in the U.S. But then when he gets to Miami, this is when he decides to develop this killing. But it's like, you just decided one day that you know how to do all of this. You have this perfect idea to do this perfect killing and to do all that. What did you do in these other half a dozen cities? Like, had he maybe killed some other people? That would be kind of interesting. At least I would think you're more of a threat. I think you're more dangerous, instead of, well, I killed these 2 people in Miami and now a third when you count Vogel. But I don't, yeah.
It's a very sloppy motive that I wish the show, we have 12 episodes, we always talk about there's a lot of filler. If the Zach storyline was just to be cut that short, why not show us more of his struggles? And I just don't. That's why it's like, I don't even care. I don't even care if Dexter kills him. Like, cool. Like, I guess we're supposed to. We'll get to the Vogel part in a second. I have limited. I would say I have more computer knowledge than average. Maybe not a lot, but I have some. I feel like the average person, I'm a little bit of a step above. I'm almost positive the idea of hacking into someone's computer is not like a two-way street where you're also allowed to hack into their computer. Because in this episode, Dexter gets Vogel's laptop and he's like, well, hacking works both 2 ways. If I could see her computer. I think that kind of defeats the purpose of hacking. But I'll leave it to smarter computer people.
Yeah, as far as I know of, no. But
Yeah.
then again, whenever I have tech issues and the tech people at work go through with the other ways, and they're like, "Okay, I'm going to take control of your mouse," I'm always sitting there like, "Oh, this is cool."
No, you know what? That's a great example. Yes, that I forget what that's called, but yes, administrative powers. You cannot control their computer.
No, I was going to say, but I don't think I can go and control theirs.
Yeah.
So
But you know what? We'll follow the code on that one. I have in my notes here like that Vogel's wearing a really long raincoat when she comes to Dexter's house. She's begging him to leave Miami, and I just have like, if you talk to anyone from South Florida, Vogel wearing that long ass jacket is probably the craziest aspect of season 8.
she 100% has 5 guns under there and is about to go on a rampage.
Oh man, and like and again, I Vogel is so shaky. They sort of come to agreement that Dexter needs to kill Saxon, and Vogel is so shaken up. I just don't like. I don't like buy it. You know what I mean? Like it's hard for me to level with the character when I'm not invested enough.
There's that. So before we get, well, I don't know if we're going to go to it because we were just mentioning it. I don't want to miss this part because this is like when I was talking about how much I hate this episode, this scene like is what kind of got me to like really like, it's just a worthless scene to me. So, and it's again, this is where they're adding in stuff that I don't understand why they needed to add into it. So, because Dexter is telling, he needs to tell Angel that he's leaving, right? So,
I didn't even put this in my notes.
Where do they do this at? It's at a crime scene. Like, okay, we get Masuka's daughter who shows up after she's been smoking pot and don't care. That's that. But then you literally could have had Vogel going into Dexter's thing, Masuka or Angel coming in saying, "We got to go. We have a crime scene." Dexter could have said, "Hold on, man. I got to tell you something just really quick. By the way, I'm going to be leaving to Argentina." He'd be like, "Oh my God, that's amazing, bro." And they hug it out right there. And then that's it. Instead, for some weird reason, we have to go to this crime scene, which you have 4 detectives on a bicycle person.
Why do we have so many detectives at every season, at every crime scene?
With the killer right there. They even said, "Yeah, it was road rage. She's right there. She was like 18 or something like that." He was like, "It was right there." There's not even a crime to figure out. You have 4 detectives there for this one thing, and then Dexter has to pause for a minute while he's wearing his gloves to go and hug it out while people are over there taking photos of a dead body and stuff like that. Worst scene of this. We got Angie's sighting.
You have to think.
You don't know who Angie is.
Yeah, if you don't know who that is, we don't know either. You have to imagine you shoot scenes like that outside that's not on a stage, and even scenes that are on a stage. That shit costs money. Like you have to pull permits and shit, and it's probably a lot of legwork to get all those people in their spots. It just makes you think like, what
on location shooting's way more expensive. It's
right.
always more expensive.
And it's like, to your point, what did this scene add to anything?
Nothing.
And Slip commented, Dexter, this show that is famously is like murder is good, but smoking weed is bad.
You can tell me what to do at work, but not in my personal life.
Like, what are we? So,
oh my God,
Colton, when we were talking about season 8, in between our break between season 7 and season 8, like one of the things that got me, like one of the small things that got me to like, I think I could do season 8 was this scene that we're about to talk about, oh God, they set it up earlier in the episode. Little Harrison just can't get off the treadmill. Later, it's Harrison and Hannah, and he's on that damn pesky treadmill.
Which his acting is phenomenal, by the way.
Oh my God. If you know what scene we're talking about, I feel like it's the most infamous scene of Dexter. I guess there's other scenes that will trump it in terms of, you could talk about Lumberjack, but I'm just talking about, so many times this season I've said this, but you have to imagine there's levels to this shit. Like they think up a scene, they film it, they storyboard it, they present it to Scott Buck, the showrunner. He looks at it, he approves it. How did this get approved?
I have no idea.
It's so... Oh, it hurts me.
And what's even better is when you first told me about it, I was like, what are you talking about? And then I watched it again and again and again. And every time I watch it, it gets worse and worse. And I notice new things. And I'm just like, wow, this was, yeah, like what you said, this was not only thought of, this was filmed multiple times. I can guarantee you it wasn't filmed in one take, and submitted and approved and aired. Like, just...
So on the Scott Reynolds for Dexter Wrap Up podcast, he's like, yeah, this looks good. I think we may have a opportunity to talk to Scott Reynolds one day. I think we may be fortunate enough to have him on the podcast. I want to talk. I want to ask him about him being he was one of the Dexter victims that he kills, and I feel like I have to ask him about this. Like, when you guys sat there and reviewed the episode, did no one look at each other and go, next scene? I don't know, man. Like, I guess I have nothing to say besides this is so bad. Like, I'm sitting here like, oh man, there's so much to talk about. This leads to just bigger stuff, right?
Yeah.
Hannah has to now take Harrison to the hospital. You know, put on a fucking hat, put on sunglasses. Anything. You know, this is the moment now she can't get in touch with anyone. I just don't like it. Like, how we're getting here. Why would she use a Morgan name? I don't know, man. It's just so...
Do they not have like the like? Maybe y'all don't have them there. I mean, I don't know.
What?
Do y'all have like the like corner ERs there, like what we have here, where it's like the you go in and out, like it's like a.
We have MedExpress, MD now, like
yeah,
where you
I
just
guess maybe like that. I mean, we have like private ERs, like there's like 3 within like walking distance. I feel like of my place, where it's like they're not a part of a hospital. They're literally like private owned ERs. It's like 2 rooms, and you just go in, you pay out of pocket for it. You're in and out really fast. They typically don't take insurance, but it's like I've gone to one before, and it was like $200.
No, we have like walk-in doctors, but not like ERs.
Yeah, we have like walk-in. Yeah, we have like they're called like emergency clinics or something like that, and they'll do stitches. Like, yeah.
I just can't believe. They're plotting in how are we gonna put Hannah in more trouble, and
This is how they get to it.
Put a scarf. I mean, everyone else in August is wearing ridiculous clothing. Put a fucking scarf on her head. Put glasses. Slipmaker is saying in the chat she should have shaved her head while crying like in V for Vendetta. Just
urgent care. Thank you, Roxanne. Urgent cares. That's what they're called.
Oh, I think they're called urgent cares, but I don't think they perform fucking stitching and stuff. But
maybe they don't. I thought they did.
And then even the name she uses, I guess maybe you have to show ID, but I don't know, man. It's one of those things where it's like, God, this is so dumb. I can't believe you haven't dyed your hair yet. And I can't believe they don't I've repeated myself so many goddamn times at this point. You know what? I do have a positive for this episode. It's not a positive. I quickly take it back. In a show that refuses to recognize anything that has happened outside of these episodes, I would like this a lot more if it had more punch / sentiment behind it. They go back to the season 1 kill room.
Mm-hmm.
The first episode that starts, it is, you get that choir director, and it's what sort of grips you. If you like the show Dexter, that scene will be, ingrained in your head. They go back to that kill room. It's Dexter and Harry, Ghost Harry, and like I remember the first time being like, I like this. It just felt empty. You know,
Yeah.
you ever like get like a free keychain or something? It's like, well, this is cool, but I never gonna use this. I'm never gonna use this bumper sticker on my car. Like, you know,
Yeah.
our episode ends with Vogel calling Dexter. Saxon is at her house. They had this whole plan drummed up that sort of gets X'd out because Saxon shows up. And Vogel, you know, visibly shaken up. Dexter arrives just in time for Saxon to slit Vogel's throat. And
Why she just stands there.
so
Sorry,
Dexter,
he's just like,
no. Dexter comes over and he has this. He's almost shaking with emotion. And we lead up to this momentous occasion, and it's like, it just has no bite. It just doesn't mean anything. They just didn't make me care. I guess that's the best way I could describe how I'm feeling as a viewer. Like okay, Vogel's gone. I met her 10 episodes ago. She sort of went AWOL once Deb and Dexter went back together. I know Dexter is saying how much he cares and how much he needs to protect Vogel, but I don't feel that. You know, you feel way more towards Deb. I guess anybody of the other fuckers that are Miami Metro. You know, and Dexter's kind of like shaking as he holds her, and it's just like, all right.
I would be more upset if Jamie had died than Vogel.
and you know, they tried that too. They tried that too with Cassie, you know? That's the other good-looking woman they killed and whatever. Yeah, man. It's
Well, and I think it was I think it was Slip that was saying this, but it may not have been. It may have been last episode. I can't remember who it was that was bringing it up. They were saying that at one point they were kind of thinking when the episode was first airing, the season was first airing, they were kind of wondering if Vogel and Oliver Saxon would kind of team up and go after Dexter, which would have been badass. That actually kind of would have been kind of cool. And had they maybe gone with something a little bit like that, where it was like, you're kind of not sure, how's Vogel going to go? Is she going to go this way? Is she going to go that way? And then he kills her? Well, then it would have been a little more of a shock. But instead, this whole episode, now, I don't remember what it was like when I was watching this in 2013, but I can tell you right now, watching it again now, when I'm watching it, I'm like, she's dying this episode. I already know it. Like, it just as soon as it starts, you just get that feeling. Right. Like the whole episode, the way it goes, you're just like, yeah, she's dead. By the end of this episode, if I was to put money on it, she'd be dead.
I had the same feeling that I had back in 2011 watching season 6. Deb walks in on Dexter, and because at that point we've already gotten Deb is 4 feet away from Dexter and Lumen, but she just decides magically to walk away. And I remember at the end of season 6 when Deb walks in on Dexter, it's supposed to be this like, oh, he got caught moment. And I remember feeling at the time, well, okay, you know, they're probably going to forget about it and we're going to go back to another season villain and whatnot. This is the same way I felt here in 2013. This happened and I was like, I think I probably switched to Sunday Night Football because I was just like, okay. Oh, no, you know what? This is September. Maybe football was on. I'm not sure. But I was like, okay, like Vogel's dead. Let's see what we got next week. I will say, despite everything I'm saying, I think I went into the finale with high hopes. Colton, do you have anything else for this episode?
Nope.
I wonder if we can sort of put a challenge for these final 2 episodes, trying to realistically provide the good in the episodes.
Oh, fuck that.
No shot. No shot.
Okay, you know what? I will do again like what I did this one. I will do a commitment to 2 good talking points. I will do my best to do 2. I am being serious. It's going to be hard. There's going to be a lot of work. I'm going to have to stretch some stuff.
Oh, my God.
I will say this. We've talked about it the last episode. I actually have I can talk good about the last episode. I can sit there and I can definitely, I mean, there's going to be some things I'm going to shit on with it, but I can actually say some good stuff about the last one. Next episode, I don't know about that.
I just feel like we're in such terrible territory where something may be good. I just like
Oh, we got 4 more episodes. Oh.
what?
Wait, how many episodes do we got?
2. We got Monkey in a
10,
Box, which is the penultimate
okay,
episode
okay.
of the series, and then we have
Pendulum Ultimate.
Pendulum Mumble. What is the last episode called? Goodbye Monsters? No. Remember the Monsters.
Remember the monsters. I was like, something monsters.
You know, it would be fun. What is funny is that if this was a different time frame / universe, we would be ending the series. But what's up? It sounds like you thought of something.
Yeah, it's completely slipped my mind. So we're doing this live and on the air really quick. We have forgotten, and I will get this out here in the next, like, at least the next 2 weeks. We need to do a vote on what movie we want to do a special on between the end of this and the special season of either Mr. Brooks or oh my
American
God,
Psycho.
American Psycho.
I just watched American Psycho. Only reason why I'm against American Psycho, I don't think we're smart enough to talk about the ending.
I just watched Mr. Brooks. I think I was messaging you about that like about a month ago.
Yeah.
I'm all on board for Mr. Brooks. It's so fucking good.
American Psycho is such a well done film. The ending,
It is.
if you Google like what happened, there's
I
not
still don't
not even like like Fight Club has a twist ending, but you can go back and parse it and you could find out, okay, this is what this was, this is what that was. American Psycho, I think it will take where I'm not, my lane is TV shows that are decades old and I already know everything that's happening. You start adding movies to the mix, like I'm going to be a completely different person once we start New Blood. So yes, let's put out that little poll within the weekend. We'll do that.
You know what that means? You're doing all this about it, so every single person's going to vote for American Psycho now. We can just talk about the business card for an hour, and I really want a solid business card.
If people pick American Psycho, I'm going to be wearing what Patrick Bateman wears at the end of the movie when it's just sneakers and a chainsaw. That's all I'm going to be wearing. Colton.
Please, for God, vote for Mr. Brooks.
Let's close out this
all I got.
episode, and we will be back next week to discuss the penultimate episode of the series, Monkey in a Box.
Sounds good.
All right, I stopped recording, and we're still streaming. So I have to go pee, but we're still, I just said we're still streaming. American Psycho does not have a definitive what happened. There are so many scenes that you don't know what was real. Yeah, what's up with your mic? Oh, it may be uploading the tracks, so your internet may be wacky. I just watched it. I just watched it Monday. Killer soundtrack. I love his monologues about the music. It's so everything. You just don't know what's real and what's not. And I think that's part of the movie. I mean, obviously, when the ATM is saying "feed me the cat," that's not real. But you don't know who he killed, who he didn't. There's nothing definitive.
Right. Yeah, because isn't it? And spoiler if you haven't seen American Psycho on the YouTube.
I've spoiled the fuck out of it already.
Yeah. I mean, it's however many years old. Yeah, no, because isn't it at the end, like, so he kills, in the middle of the movie, he kills Jared Leto, and then it's like at the end of it, you find out Jared Leto's like on a business trip somewhere else, or what, supposedly. But then it's up in the air. It's kind of like, well, no, like they're just saying that because they're protecting him because he's part of the rich club. Like that's like one of the theories or whatever. Then there's like other stuff like it just happened in his head and he doesn't know it. And then, yeah, right?
Yes,
dude. It's been 5 or 6 years since I've seen that movie.
No, I literally just watched it. I think the part of the movie you're supposed to take, like, if I want it to be like highfalutin, I know what this movie's about and you don't. I think it's about killing. It's the serial killer aspect of the movie is just masking the idea of trying to fit in and how far that would take somebody to the point where Patrick Bateman has an incredible, probably has 0% body fat.
Right.
and all he's doing is trying to fit in. That's why there's the business cards. There's, everything. The movie even starts out with how much he does for his skincare.
Right.
And the killing is just like a sick fantasy he has that he may have killed 0 people, or he may have killed just one person, homeless man in the alley, or I think it's pretty well documented he doesn't kill Paul Allen, which is Jared Leto. But I don't know, man. I'm not smart enough. It's like why I never did The Sopranos. It's why I never did The Wire, despite them being my favorite TV shows. Not smart enough. By the way, Roxanne, Many Saints of Newark comes out in an hour and 6 minutes over here on the East Coast. The Sopranos movie.
I still haven't watched Sopranos.
Yeah.
I know it. I really need to. I actually watched the trailer for the movie just to kind of see like what it was going to be like, because I know that I think I would like The Sopranos. I just can't get past the first fucking episode.
No, man.
And
You're doing yourself such a disservice.
I know. But then I watched the trailer for this movie and I'm like, damn, this looks really fucking good.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what it's about and it looks good.
It's I imagine, I wonder if they're making the movie as a standalone. Like maybe you can go into it not having watched Sopranos.
And tell me that though.
But just the trailer alone, figuring out, oh my god, that's Paulie Walnuts, that's fucking Pussy, that's Chris's father. I feel like you're gonna be missing out on so much stuff, but
yeah,
I'm super excited to watch it. And the number one secret of the pandemic and what it's given us as a father of a now 8-month-old, being able to get to watch these movies at home. Holy shit. Thank you no, I shouldn't say thank you, coronavirus. Such a blessing. I that I don't have to go to the movies. I would have spent money on Mortal Kombat, and I'm so glad I didn't. I would have spent money on seeing Saw in theaters. Thank God I didn't. Huge blessing of the pandemic.
Yeah, no, 100%. I would have. I haven't been to a movie, obviously, in a year and a half or whatever. But before that, I want to say me and Meg, we would go to the movies on occasion. We weren't real big on it.
I think we did this as a topic. What's the last movie you saw?
See, and I can't remember now.
I think it was Star. I think we had this whole debate. I think it was Star Wars because you saw it. You saw it after I did, and I saw it at the end. I saw it on New Year's Day. Movie theaters shut down 2.5 months later. I do think
it was. That's right. It was one of our very last date nights before the pandemic because we had somebody look after her while we I do remember this because it was her mom, his Meg's mom. We had to be home by a certain time, and so we went to an early showing of the movie, and it was just like, oh, this is nice. We're going to an early showing, and that was a waste of a movie, but that's a whole nother thing.
I don't know. Oh, I know. The next time I'm going to be back in the theaters is Ghostbusters. If you want to listen to, if you want to hear and I wonder if this has happened to you, Colton. I work hard for my family. I try to provide. What my wife was, the precious soul that she is, what she was willing to grant me on my birthday. She told me, for your birthday, you know what I was thinking of giving you? What, sweetheart? I was going to let you go see Ghostbusters. Now, she didn't say she was going to buy me a ticket. She was just going to say she was going to let me.
Wasn't that like a date of y'all's to go see Ghostbusters in theaters?
No.
I want to say I remember.
No, this is the first Ghostbusters that's coming out.
No, it was no. It was like a one of those they re-released it in the theaters or something like that.
Oh, we used to go down to Miami. They would do we saw Friday the 13th Part 2, A Nightmare on Elm Street 4. I would take her to all these horror movies. They would do retro releases. It would be like a date night. They'd play Nightmare on Elm Street. I think we saw Beetlejuice one night. Yeah, we used to do that. back before a kid and the pandemic.
Right.
But no, Ghostbusters is like, that's my shit. I mean, my wedding song was Ghostbusters too. I'm super excited for Ghostbusters. I don't think you're a big Ghostbusters guy, huh?
No, I am.
Oh.
I'm not into it like you, but no, the first one, I love the first
I'm
one.
not a loser like you, but I like it.
I didn't say loser. I said I'm not into it like you.
I know. It was the implication.
One of my friends, one of my friends here in Houston, he is huge. He's what they call, what is it?
Loser?
No, well, oh, what is it they call them?
He's like
There's like
the
a whole
Houston
name.
chapter of Ghostbusters.
Yes, he's handmade the proton pack. He has the whole outfit. He's made the little thing with that sucks him in, whatever that thing is.
The ghost trap.
Like the trap.
I hate that I know
trap.
these.
See, I don't know the names. He's done all of that. The only thing he hasn't done is make the Ghostmobile. That's the only thing he hasn't done. But he would.
I have to correct
if he
you.
can get a hold of that hearse.
It's the
what's it called? I'm sorry.
Ectomobile, or if you want to be cool, you could say Ecto One. Listen, I don't want you out in public not sounding cool. All right.
Yeah, no, he's huge into that. Yeah. So, yeah, no, the first movie, I've seen the first movie. I can't guess how many times. Second movie I've seen, I actually just watched the second one not that long ago. Again, it'd been a while. Because everyone always talks shit about it, and then when I watch it, I'm like, you know what? It's not as good as the first, but it's still fun. It's a fun movie. It's got some weird, I don't know, but I like it. But I like Bill Murray. Bill Murray is one of my favorite actors. So,
yeah, I think Ghostbusters will be the first movie I get to see in theaters. I'm gonna download your tracks, and I have to go pee really bad, so stay there. Thank God I only have to download 3 tracks instead of 17. Hold on.
Jennifer, you're saying that you have to watch that whenever it's on. Ghostbusters, that my random one for that is Shawshank Redemption. Anytime I see Shawshank Redemption on, I have to watch it. It's one of those movies I don't care. I've seen it 1,000 times. I have to watch it. Oh, I'll get on to Sopranos. I'll do it someday. I just can't get past that first episode. But I always hear it's so good. Yeah, no. It's a good Stephen King one. Shawshank's a really good Stephen King one. My favorite of his actual stories, and that was a movie, is it's called The Body in the book, and then the movie is oh my gosh, I cannot even think of, oh my god, how can I not think of the name of the movie right now?
What happens in it?
It's Will Wheaton and River Phoenix. Stand By Me. That's it. Stand By Me. That is Stand By Me is have you ever seen Stand By Me?
No, I have not.
It is so good. It's like a coming of age movie, right? But it's written. It's based on a book by Stephen King called The Body. It's about these 4 kids in the 50s, if I remember right, and they're going to find this body that they hear about. They've heard that this kid got hit by a train, and they want to go find the body to collect a reward. And so the whole movie is them going on this trip, like this walking this railroad track to go find the body. It's meant for adults. It's not at all for kids. Okay, like not at all for kids. But it's so well filmed and so well done. The actors, it's Corey Feldman, Will Wheaton, River Phoenix, R.I.P., and I cannot think of the other kid's name. He was married to Rebecca Romaine at one point. I cannot think of his name right now, but He's in it. So those are like your four ones. They're like the main kids, and then the narrator of it is Richard Dreyfuss, and so good. It is fantastic, easily top movie, like one of my top 10 movies of all time.
The chat is saying it's Jerry O'Connell, the other kid.
Jerry O'Connell, that's it. Thank you, Jerry O'Connell. Thank you, Jen and Roxanne.
Eric, if you're still in the chat, let me know. I don't know if he's there. Jen's saying she loves Stephen King. I have to see what movie did I just watch that I thought was Stephen King?
I'm a pretty big Stephen King fan. I grew up reading,
I
was a kid reading his books. I love Stephen King.
I think
stuff.
all his movies ended up being shitty, right? Because I mean,
No,
he's
no,
a
no,
book
no, no,
he's
no,
a
no,
book
no.
writer. He's not a.
Here's the thing, and this is Jen, you can correct me. Everybody has their different views on Stephen King. Stephen King is an amazing writer. He comes up with these amazing stories. He is a shit ender. He cannot end a story to save his life. Okay. His endings in books, on I would say 80% of them are garbage. He just doesn't know how to do it. He doesn't know how to find an ending. The movies, on the other hand, typically to me do a really good job of ending. Now, the problem with the movies is they don't get the full story. And the problem that he did have was like Carrie, they didn't consult him for hardly anything when they first made it. So he hates the version of Carrie. The Shining, they didn't consult him on The Shining, and so he does not care for The Shining because of that. But then Shawshank Redemption, which is Stephen King, they consulted and they had him on there for quite a bit of it. He talks really good about the Shawshank Redemption, which is actually really close to the book. The Green Mile is so good. The Green Mile, the movie and the book, they're very, very similar. They are different, but they're very similar. They are so good. The book ending actually in the Green Mile is a little bit better. It's one of the very few, I think. But like Under the Dome was a fantastic book up until like the last like 30 pages, and then it was like, really, this is how you're gonna end this? That's my opinion, at least. But he has some really good stories though. The Long Walk, oh god, I could go on about Stephen King. Sorry.
What's the movie where the guy can't stop eating, and what's the movie with Christopher Walken?
Thinner. What is I don't know what Christopher Walken is. Thinner is the movie where he can't stop eating.
Oh, The Dead Zone. I'm not sure if that's Stephen King though.
Yes, yeah, that's Stephen King. I actually forgot that was it.
Isn't The Mangler like one of the worst movies ever made?
The Langoliers.
No,
is that what you're saying?
The Mangler.
I don't know what The Mangler is.
Does what's the one with the washer machine comes to life? I think that's The Mangler.
You're talking about, is it the one with like the trucks?
No, that's Maximum Overdrive, right?
Oh, okay, yeah. I thought that's what you're talking about.
Am I thinking Did he do Lawnmower Man? No.
Yeah, Lawnmower Man is him.
Oof. Maybe the book's better.
I haven't seen that. No, because of that podcast you were talking about. How did this get made? They did the Lawnmower Man. I was like, I've never seen that movie, and I always heard how bad it is. Every time I try to find it, though, I can't get it for free. So I don't want to pay money on it.
I guess I'm looking at his movies. Yeah, I guess I'm wrong in saying all his movies end up being trash. There's a lot of clunkers in here, I guess, but he also has written and done like a million, so like not all of them are going to be hits. You know what I mean? So yes, I was wrong in saying that. There is a lot of trash here. It's just he has so much. Jen, was The Outsider? Was The Outsider that one? Fuck, did you watch The Outsider, Colton?
I didn't. I keep meaning to.
Is that the one where they El Chupacabra? No. What was that? What was the name of that ghost, Jen? El Chapo?
Fuck. La Cucuy?
El Cuco, yes.
La Cucuy?
Sorry. I completely cut you off on something you were saying. I'm sorry.
No, I just know was it La Cucuy, because one of my friends would sit there and say certain things, and whenever he'd be like, "Oh, La Cucuy," and then I would be like, "Why?" Do you like? No, we don't talk about it. I don't know.
I think it's El Cuco, but Jen will. Yo, Jen, you should have a fucking Stephen King podcast. if you're that into it. I would listen to
God,
it.
could you, if you had a Stephen King podcast, you would literally be making episodes till the day you die.
Yeah, your kids will take it over.
He has so many good things, but that's the thing with him is it's to me what Stephen King's best stuff is the non-horror things. So like I said, Shawshank Redemption, The Green Mile, The Stand, like those, they're not scary. Yeah, Green Mile has a little bit of supernatural element to it, but it's not a horror, and that's where I think a lot of his writing really shined. There was this book he wrote called The Long Walk, easily one of my favorite books out there. Fantastic. He wrote it under he had a pseudonym, Richard Bachman, and he wrote it under that name. It's a really good book. They've never made it into a movie. The Stand is so good, but it's another one. It's more apocalyptic, and so it's not really horror, I guess. I don't know, but see, I'm not a fan of It. Everyone talks all this stuff about It, and
I'm someone who never watched It, but when they did this remake, I got into it. Maybe we talked about this. Part 2 is just dreadful.
Part 1 was really good.
Part 1 was
2,
good.
Yeah.
Part 2, I was just like, I'm bored.
Like as a kid, I was scared of the movie, because I remember watching as a little kid, and I did get scared of it. But I mean, that doesn't say much. I was probably like 5.
Right.
So, but this one, I mean, yeah, it was like, okay, well, that's kind of creepy. And then when the part 2 came out and I saw it, I was like, oh, but I think part 2 is a little, from what I remember, it was more in line with the book a little bit, but I still wasn't a big fan of it. I did like Dr. Sleep though. Dr. Sleep was a really good book.
I just watched Dr. Sleep. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. Yeah, I thought it was almost, I'm a little upset with myself that I didn't go see it in theaters. Yeah, I really like Dr. Sleep.
Yeah, it was good.
You guys keep talking about The Stand. What's The Stand?
The Stand is his, like, what you would call, I don't know the word. I'm not.
Oh, I know. Okay. I know what it is now. Yep.
It's literally if you have a good solid 8 months to read a book, sit down and read it. Because it's a doozy. I think it weighs like 18 pounds. I can go get my copy. It's literally like that thick. The dome under the dome is a pretty thick one too. Well, that one took me a month to read.
I was just gonna say something and I forgot. Already.
Yeah, I agree. The Shining was not very good, Jen. Everyone talks so much about it. There's parts that are memorable, but the movie itself,
I like The Shining. I don't give it the universal praise everyone does. I just liked it, And
I'll take heat for this. I think Stanley Kubrick's overrated personally. I really do. He has some good stuff out there, but I think overall, he's an overrated director.
So I've said this about what's the movie? I completely. What's the name of the movie? They all go to Sweden. Midsummer.
I still need to watch that.
That made me just feel very uncomfortable with myself by the end. Stanley Kubrick's 2001 Space Odyssey. Sometimes I don't fully get it, but I feel it. Like it viscerally gets me. Is he overrated? I guess so. But I guess for my taste, I guess is what I'll say.
The only thing I'll give him about 2001: A Space Odyssey is he did all of that during the time period with the technology that they had.
Right.
And that is impressive. I will give him that. He was visionary for the time. I guess that's my thing for maybe, but then we also have to take into account some of his other movies as well, like later on. And I'm like, dude, like,
yeah,
it's been a long time since I've seen it. Didn't he do Eyes Wide Shut? Wasn't that his movie?
That was his last movie.
And that, dude, he went out on a low note.
Yeah.
It was not good.
That's how I feel about the Beatles, by the way. I know they were visionaries for their time.
As a Beatles fan, I agree with you 100%.
I'm like, I don't get it, and I'm not going to pretend like, I respect them. Just cool. Who else could we piss off?
I get it.
Who else is great that we could just shit
Let me think here.
Michael Jordan?
See, who's some famous actors that I think are garbage and I don't understand the love for him. Let me think here. Johnny Depp. Don't actually really care for him all that much.
I probably don't watch enough of him to like have a
We're just pissing everybody off.
I don't have a good enough opinion to put of him. Like I like inconclusive for me. Like I guess he's fine.
He's okay. That's mine. He's okay. I don't understand why he's paid the amount that he is.
Roxanne said Tom Hanks.
Oh, see, I'll disagree with you on that one. I love Tom Hanks.
No, I mean Roxanne said stupid Tom Hanks. So no, she said JK. She takes it back.
Oh, I was like, oh, okay. I was like, I actually really no Tom Hanks.
I think Tom Hanks will go.
What was I just watched? Castaway. I just watched it the other night.
I know,
So
Roxanne,
good.
you're kidding. I read it right after. I'm sorry. Because all I read was stupid, and I didn't read the JK. Dude, you think Tom Hanks is going to go down as like the kickoff to a coronavirus? Do you remember when he got it? That's when everyone was like, "Oh my God, it's real now. Tom Hanks has it." Nah.
One of my friends was like posting was like, if this virus takes him out, I'm done.
Yeah. Like now you guys have gone too far. Tom Cruise, I don't think I've watched enough of his stuff to have like a formulated opinion.
Yeah, he's the things I've seen with him. I'm like, okay, he's an action star. He runs weird.
I know
he runs in like every movie.
I know he's still doing his own stunts for Mission Impossible, and whatever age he is,
impressive.
Like cool. Like that's awesome. You still respect the craft. Yeah, I'm not gonna watch it. I'll talk shit about it, but yeah. Hold on, there was someone else. You know who I may have said this on the podcast, and I think I say it so much that something I always enjoy watching him in, and as a straight, comfortable white male, I think Ben Affleck is devastatingly handsome, and I think he is great in everything he does. Just my opinion. Gone Girl, at Gone Girl, I watched Gone Girl, and first of all, I'll never trust Marissa.
Gia? Really?
What?
Gia? No, I'm sorry, dude. Daredevil, he was not a good Daredevil. He wasn't.
He was handsome.
I'm going to disagree with you. Oh, yeah, no,
I think
he was handsome.
But I think that entire project got like, it's like the whole thing kind of went down.
That was before the new Marvel stuff. That's true.
Oh my God. If you don't have the chat open, or if you do, Jen's right comment is so funny. Yo, I'd climb Ben Affleck like a tree. I have no shame in saying that. It'll be really weird.
Oh, Ryan Reynolds. I do like Ryan Reynolds.
Ryan Reynolds has sort of become like a huge, huge like social media favorite. Colton, have you ever seen Gone Girl?
I have. It has been a while. Like I think I watched it when it very first came out on DVD. So it's been.
I just watched it recently, and fuck, I think that is such a great movie. And I know that's based on a book.
Where they rob the banks, right?
No, that's The Town.
Isn't that it?
That's The Town.
Oh, then I haven't seen.
That's another great movie. But Gone Girl it's a David Fincher film, right? Is it David Fincher?
I do like David Fincher.
Yes. Oh, that's what I've been wanting to bring up on the podcast for so long. Have you seen The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo? The American version? Oliver Saxon's in that movie. He's in there for a quick second. Let me see if I can pull it up. He's a cop, and he literally comes to the door, and he just says, like, hey, you're like 8 o'clock is here. And he pulls away. Let me see if I can pull it up. I'll put it in the chat.
That's funny. I need to see that. David Fincher's really good. He's the one that did The Social Network, right? Isn't that him? That movie. I remember when that came out. I was so pissed off. I was like, they're making a fucking movie about Facebook. I was like, who would go watch this? And then I was like, David Fincher is doing this. I was like, how much money is Facebook? I thought Facebook was behind the movie, right? I was like, how much are they paying David Fincher to make Facebook look good? And then I found out that Trent Reznor was doing the music, and I was like, dude, this is some bullshit. They're getting all these great people. I was so upset. I was like, I will never see that movie. Friend of mine went and saw it in theaters. She's a huge Trent Reznor fan. Went and saw it in theaters, and she was like, "Bro," she's like, "You've got to go see this movie." She's like, "It's so good." I was like, "No," I was like, "Fuck that Facebook guy." I was like, "He's just making himself look good," and she's like, "No," she's like, "He is an asshole." She's like, "They make that movie makes him look like garbage." She's like, "You need to go watch it," and I was like, "All right, fine." I was like, "I guess I'll go watch it." Went and saw it. I've seen that movie. I cannot count how many times. So good.
Never saw it.
Really? Oh, dude, you need. That is a movie you need to watch for real. It is. It's so like I said, one of it is just it's David Fincher, so he directs amazingly. But just the music, the soundtrack, everything in that movie is just it's solid. That is a very solid movie.
I think the thing with Fincher is I think every other movie he does, he hits. Because I think he did Seven, and then The Game. The Game was kind of a clunker. And then the next one was like Fight Club, and then the next one he did was Panic Room. I'm trying to think what else, but I think the thing with him is every other one. But
I always forget he did Panic Room because it's not his style.
It's a total how do I say it, like a commercial hit. You know what I mean? Damn, I can't find. I'm gonna have to get The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo again because I'm talking with Eric in the chat. You know what I loved about Zodiac? Jen's in the chat. Zodiac.
Zodiac's good.
I love that it's just ends. Like it kind of leads you to believe what you want to believe. There's no like, and then they get the killer. There's that really creepy scene at the end where he's in his house. Mark Ruffalo. I always loved Mark Ruffalo. What else did he do? Seven, Panic Room. I like Panic Room, even though it was a little silly. Seven's great. What other movie he's done? Gone Girl, Girl with Dragon Tattoo. Oh yeah, Fight Club and Seven.
I like, but going back on Ben Affleck, I like Ben Affleck. He's good.
When he's fucking working out as Batman in Batman vs Superman.
It's like lifting chains and
Oh
shit.
my god, I'm sweating.
I'll be honest with you. I liked him as Batman. I was like, he's not bad. Like this is better. It was way better than I thought it was gonna be. I didn't mind him as Batman.
No, I thought
it was because he was like the aged Batman, which was kind of cool.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm gonna be really curious to see.
What's his name?
The vampire.
Robert Paulson? No, that's
Patterson.
Patterson.
Patterson. Yeah, I'm kind of curious to see what that's going to be like.
Oh, Eric, I wanted to ask you, since you're in the chat, has there been any whispers that the Dexter team was in Long Beach shooting? So Eric, he's in the chat. He lives in Long Beach. He sends me photos when he's like near somewhere. I wonder if there was any whispers that Dexter was back in town shooting. Usually that shit gets posted all over the internet, but I don't think it was.
Pattinson. That's it.
Pattinson. Apparently they're saying that the Batman movie is like a horror movie. No filming crew.
That's what
Okay. Go ahead.
That's what I've been told. It's like, yeah, it's supposed to be like, supposedly like the darkest of all, which that's going to take a lot to beat out Ben Affleck's Batman, because I mean, fucker was like branding people and shit like that. So
Let me see.
I'm really curious to see.
Mm-hmm.
I'll go and see that at theaters.
Yeah,
That's
but
for sure.
I think it's not till like next year. I'm gonna try and pull this photo up. Oh, Roxanne, I think it's like every villain. I think they have Penguin, the Riddler.
Yeah, because who was it they got for Penguin? It was somebody.
Colin Farrell.
Yeah.
I think Dr. Narcisse is in it. He is.
What?
Yeah, there's a bunch of I know I think they're following the Court of Owls story, which for the short time I read comic books, I read that. If you would have pulled that up, who's in it? Because I remember, I'm trying to pull this picture up of Deb's house.
Okay.
See if
I can find it.
Yeah, there's a lot of people. There's a lot of villains in it.
It's called The Batman, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Paul Dano as the Riddler, Colin Farrell as Penguin, Jeffrey Wright as James Gordon. The fuck yes. Andy Serkis as Alfred. What?
Oh, I didn't know that. I thought there was
Peter
like a ton of.
Skarsgård?
I thought there was a ton of villains in it. Am I wrong?
I'm going through right now. Peter Skarsgård is Jill Collinson. John Turturro, I can't ever remember how to pronounce his name, as Carmen Falcon.
Oh, Falcone. Yeah, Falcone,
Falcone.
the crime boss. I don't think the Joker's in it. I think they still have.
Sorry, no, he's not.
I think they still
That's
have
not
him
what I'm
hanging out there with the some of the stuff they want to do with the Suicide Squad. Did you see Suicide Squad, by the way?
I did see the new one. I liked it.
I liked it.
It was better than I was
I
expecting.
love that polka dot guy.
Yeah.
That's all I remember from it. Yeah, and the shark, Sylvester Stallone. That was great.
It was a lot better than I thought it was going to be. I kind of like that they didn't focus. I think that was kind of the problem. They tried focusing on the last one too much on Harley, and I was like, "You're
Yeah,
just
I didn't like
you're
that.
just going for this because everybody wants to like either dress like her or be with her or whatever." And that's like what it kind of takes away like his I don't know, like for a character, it's hard to do a whole movie on just her.
Right.
I think. So I wasn't expecting a lot, but then when I saw it, I was like, "Oh, this is good."
What the hell?
It's John Cena's. I love this character in that.
Hold on, I'm sorry. I have the photo of me and Marissa at Deb's house because Eric's in the chat and he sent me the updated. They were doing construction, and once I show this, rotate 90 degrees, flip vertical. There we go. That's me, and if you're looking at the chat, that's me and Marissa at Deb's house. They were doing construction on it, and Eric had sent me the updated version. I think this is like the street side. Oh, maybe this is this is the beach side. This is like where Deb's little patio is, if you're seeing. Did I ever show you this, Colton?
I'm trying to. I don't see it. He said it's in.
Oh, it's on the.
Chat.
No, I'm sorry. It's on the It's on the stream.
Oh, well, I gotta pull up the stream then. Hold on.
But Eric has a much better photo. Oh my god, and I'm wearing the same shirt.
That's funny. Oh, I would never even guess that was the house.
I only knew it because of the address that I had prior, or else I would have never known. But like right across the street is where they film everything else on the show. Well,
Yeah, I would never.
yeah. Even the updated version, I got to get it today. I'll show you. I think with that being said, I'm going to call it a night. Jen, Eric, Roxanne, Colton, Deb, Clayton, Fogel. What was that, Fogel?
Not Fogel, not Fogel, and not Olive Faxton.
We'll talk during the week of what day we're recording. I think I'm free all next week. Breakfast. I'm not free on Friday. It's Marissa's birthday.
Happy early birthday, Marissa.
Other than that, I'm free any week, but we'll talk during the week.
Okay.
Good night, Roxanne. We'll talk. Don't spoil Sopranos for me because I probably am not going to be able to watch it until Saturday or Sunday. If you watch it, let me know. It's going to be a good movie, regardless, Colton. So, I'd be really curious. I'd be really curious if you watch it as never seen Sopranos. Like, what the fuck is going on? It would kind of be like jumping into New Blood.
Yeah,
cool.
that's probably true.
Jen, Roxanne, thank you so much. Eric, thank you.
Yeah, thank y'all.
And we'll be back next week.
Sounds good.
Bye.
All right, later.